Nyanjui. I'm appearing together with my sister, Miss Swiga.
I'm present, my lady. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we are equally holding brief for our senior, Mr. Dunstan Omari, for the petitioners, Your Honor.
Leadership, in this matter,
Yes.
my name is Ochwangi. I appear for the 5th respondent.
Yes.
May I please the court?
Yes.
The matter, Ms. Kerubo for the 3rd respondent.
Yes.
If I may please the court.
Yes.
If I may please the court, Jelly, I appear for the 6th respondent.
Could you please just spell your name?
Kyeli.
Sorry, counsel.
Kyeli.
For which party?
For the 6th respondent, ESCC.
Yes.
And my lady Wabwire, I do appear for 1st, 2nd, 7th, and 8th respondents.
Yes.
My lady, assuming that is the entire quorum.
Yes.
My lady, this matter has been listed as coming up for directions.
Yes.
Of our application dated the 20th of August 2024. My lady, the substratum of that application.
Yes.
6 conservatory orders against the respondents from establishing or developing or approving any plans relating to the establishment of a university at Kiabunyoru, Itibo Ward, North Mugirango. My lady, that application has been supported by an affidavit.
Your Lordship, with your kind respect, with your kind permission, this application is not for argument or for hearing today. Your Honor, kindly, I've request for indulgence from the court. Your Lordship, with your permission, even from their notice of motion, the mention they served on us, it is indicating it is for mention for directions. It is not for hearing. So I don't not know why my colleague is arguing the application. Because we have not said whether we have filed any responses. We have not said whether we have not filed or filed, so that we can seek for further directions from the court. This application is not for hearing. Kindly, Lordship, let the court give us time so that we can be able to respond and tell the court whether we have responded or not. And if not, what are we supposed to do? Kindly.
With all due respect to my colleague, I think he just caught me in the midst of myself speaking. And what I was doing was appraising the court on the pleadings on the file, not arguing the application. So I would ask that counsel. No, I'm not arguing the application, counsel. And if you would be just keen to listen, I was appraising the court on what documents are on record. If it comes to arguing the application, I would have indicated as such. Therefore, kindly, counsel, I would actually ask you to keep quiet briefly so that I can address the court as to the pleadings on the file. I'm not arguing the application. If that was the case, I would have actually done so.
Mr.
So with
Kinyanjui,
just due respect,
Mr.
with due
Kinyanjui,
respect, counsel. Yes, Your Honor.
So that it does not seem like you are arguing an application, you would have just drawn my attention to your application that is coming up for directions or for mention. You have
Yes, my
said
lady.
it is dated 20th of August 2024. Then
Correct, my lady.
you tell us if you have served or if the other parties have what they have filed really, so that as you are speaking, I'm also recording. So I don't want to take a long time recording the prayer sought or the affidavits that have been filed or the grounds if the matter is not proceeding for hearing as such. Just introduce the application.
Correct.
Just introduce the matter that is before me and the status of the pleadings without going into the contents of the pleadings, at least
Most
for now.
obliged, my lady.
Yes.
My lady, the application was served on all the respondents. And in as much as you've not yet been served with anything, we were able to pick out from the CTA system grounds of objection filed by the AG and Nyamira County government. My lady, there's also an affidavit of service on record indicating as much.
Very well.
That the application was indeed filed. And sorry, was indeed served.
Okay, let me hear from Mr. If we go by way of in a sequential manner, I'll hear from the first respondent, first, second, seventh, eighth respondents, Mr. Wabwire.
My lady, thank you. I start by correcting the record. Indeed, we filed our grounds of opposition in opposition to the application by the petitioners, and we served through email.
Yes.
And so we confirm that we are ready to contest the application. We can take directions on our part.
Then I will move to Ms. Kerubo.
My lady, equally on our part, we did file our grounds of opposition and served upon the applicants. We're ready to take directions.
Then I'll move to Mr. Ochwangi.
Yes, Lordship, I filed my replying affidavit on 24th September 2024, and I served my colleague Dansan Omari yesterday. So I filed response to the said application.
Then lastly, Mr. Ayeli.
My lady, I confirm that the application was served on the sixth respondent headquarters, and it was transferred to our regional office to deal with. I have prepared a replying affidavit, which I'm yet to file and serve. I'll be requesting for 3 days to do so.
So coming back to Mr. Kinyanjui, what directions do you seek for today? Mr. Kinyanjui, you are muted.
My apologies, Your Ladyship. I am seeking that Humbly so, we can dispense this application with written submissions. My lady will only be seeking 3 days, given the urgency of the matter, and will not be taking more than 3 days to file and serve our submissions.
Does anyone have a contrary opinion on the filing of submissions or the canvassing of the application by way of written submissions?
Leadership on my part, for the 50th respondent, I have no objection. We can argue the application by way of written submissions. For me, I can take 5 days from today, from the time I'm served with the applicant's written submissions.
Equally, my lady, on my part, I have no opposition. We can be given 7 days upon service to put in our submissions.
My lady, for the third respondent, we do not have any objection. We can take 7 days.
My lady, I can see there's someone called Wilkins Ochoki. Perhaps he can be muted.
I have muted everyone so that we can hear each other. So directions are as follows. The 6th respondent is granted 3 days to file and serve its response. The application dated 20th August 2024 will be canvassed by way of written submissions to be filed and exchanged before the next mentioned date. So,
my lady, we have the 4th of October.
4th of October.
My lady, perhaps before we take our next mentioned date, having taken directions on this application, I would humbly be seeking the indulgence of this honorable court that, given that all parties are present, that at least we have some temporary orders which are to operate as an injunction against the respondents. And my lady, the basis of why I'm making that application is that I believe, together with the vacation application chamber summons dated the 20th of August 2024, I had annexed a newspaper clipping from the People's Daily, where it reported that a delegation of professors from the Commission of University Education had actually acted on William Ruto's directives and visited Kiabonyoru over that weekend for a physical inspection to give a report for the establishment of the university that we are seeking to injunct, my lady. So already we can see that the respondents are moving in haste. And if we are not protected, my lady, we'll be equally losing the subject matter of the main petition. Therefore, Your Honor, I will be praying that this court invokes its saving inherent powers and temporarily inject the respondents from acting on the directives of William Ruto. Therefore, be praying for prayer number D to be granted in the interim. My lady, having calculated the cumulative days, we have counted 13 days of exchanging submissions. Therefore, it is still proper for this court to grant an injunction pending the next mentioned date. We humbly pray so, my lady.
Respondents, let me have your feedback. Do you have any objection to the granting of the interim orders to preserve the subject matter?
My lady, if I may go first.
Yes.
My lady, we are opposed to that application for the interim orders. The essence being that once they file the application, we have endeavored to respond within time, because the issues that are before court are very contested issues. And it will be the best of interest of everyone that the court gets to hear all the parties before it can make this particular decision to grant the orders. And that's the essence why we have filed the responses, so that the court will be able to appraise the responses before it can decide whether to grant the orders or not.
What is the status quo right now? What is the status quo? Has the university been, has the construction started?
Your Lordship, at the moment, I cannot confirm the status. But if given time, I can consult so that I give the status. And number two, which is just a word of caution, the directive was given by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya. It was not a directive from William Ruto, as my colleague will want it to appear. So can we have the decorum while addressing the head of the state?
Well, for purposes of this court, I can see that there's a lot of emotions in this matter. But from our end, this is an application for conservatory orders just like any other, and we will treat it as such. So these are my directions. As I've said, 6 respondents, you have 3 days to file and serve your response. Their application will be canvassed by way of written submissions to be filed and exchanged before the next mentioned date. I will give each side 3 days to comply. We'll mention the matter on 4th of October, and I'll say that as of now, the status quo to be maintained.
My lady, you said 4th of October?
Did you give me 4th?
I said 24th, 24.
Sorry, I didn't hear that correctly. 24th of October. Status quo currently obtaining in respect to the declaration made by His Excellency to be maintained.
Most obliged, my lady.
Pardon, my lady. Pardon, my apology.